What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here today to show off the 2008 Toro Rosso livery made by JB. Once again, in my last video I alluded to how good he was at making liveries, and this is no exception. So obviously the 2008 Toro Rosso was the first race winning car of a certain Sebastian Vettel. Some of you may know who he is. So where else should we drive this car other than Monza in heavy rain conditions, very similar to where Sebastian Vettel won his race in the 2008 season. Only difference is we are not starting on pole position like young Sebastian did. No, we are starting from the back of the grid against all the other cars in our category, which I believe is C1. So we're probably going to get our ass handed to us. But yeah, even this angle, it just brings back like nostalgia from the early 2000s, and even seeing it on board, it's just insane. We've got the F2007 just to our left and the R26 just ahead of us. Up front we've got the bronze Red Bulls, F2010s, as well as the MP425s all up top. We're probably not going to catch up to them, and we might be lacking a little bit in the straight line, but we're going to come into turn one. We've got a BMW, and again the Renault's just ahead of us. Our teammate, I'm pretty sure, is just ahead of us there, Cooper, I believe. Coopens? We'll call him Cooper because I'm not pronouncing that. Cooper is going to be in our teammate for this race. Visibility is horrific. It's awful. It's absolutely horrific. And as well as traction is exactly great. But we're going to see what we can do from P20. We've already made up 2 positions. I believe that was on a Ferrari and maybe a Renault. But we're going to go dive down the inside of our teammate behind Moreno in the R26. So that is the 2006, 2007 cars, possibly 2008. So kind of our benchmark of where we kind of want to see our paces against. Obviously 2008 is kind of an upgrade on 07 and 06. But we'll have to see how we can do. Obviously we just get past our teammates. So we're up 4 positions in the first lap, which is obviously amazing. So it's a pretty good start. I tried getting a Sebastian Vettel-esque helmet. I didn't feel like importing a helmet into the game for this specific video, so I just kind of went with some Red Bull colours, more or less like the Sebastian Vettel when he was winning championships with the purple and the gold and all that. But you can't really see it, so it's just pretend it's an official helmet. Obviously the race suit and the gloves kind of give it away that we're not actually in our uniform, but that's something I can look for down the line. I did record another video with this as well. I recorded one around Monaco, so that'll probably be the next video you see, so keep your eyes out for that. If you do enjoy these kind of videos, do slap a like on it. Make sure you sub to the channel for more Formula 1 content coming out every now and again. It's been a week since I've done the last video, but that one got over to 1,000 video views, so thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. We're going to dive down the inside of the Renault into turn 1. We've got Murray in the Ferrari, and we've got another Williams just ahead of us, which is Leia Turno, which is really interesting, right? So for those of you who have played classic races and classic cars on the F1 games of the last couple of years, Leia Turno was actually a Ferrari driver, and he was actually at the front of the race more or less every single time. So it's kind of weird to see he's kind of gone backwards and he's now in a Williams. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but the more you know, right? Anyway, so we're still behind Murray on lap 2, coming into probably our best part of the circuit. Like, the AI do seem to struggle around this part a lot more than we do. We managed to find the right gear combination for a start, and just be able to hook up the corners a little bit, but obviously getting traction down obviously is a bit of an issue. But if you look at the little mini map, you can see there's a massive gap between, I'd say, roughly about 8 to first, and then there's like a massive train backwards. That's kind of where you see the difference of the cars. So obviously at the front of the queue you're going to have, you know, your Red Bulls, your Ferraris, McLarens and your Brawns, and probably not necessarily the F2004s and 2s that you're probably used to seeing up towards the top of the grid. But we're looking at Murray down into Parabolica. It's going to be incredibly tight. It gives us a squeeze, little rubber tyres, throw our hands up. We can drive around Parabolica in the heavy rain with one hand apparently. That's phenomenal. But we're up 1 more position, about to start lap 3. So we've made 6 positions in 2 laps, which isn't too bad. It's definitely going to be hard in these cars. These cars haven't exactly got a lot of grunt or a lot of downforce on them. So you can see we've got a little train of cars here, which is a mixture of the McLarens and the Ferraris. But this car's kind of like in the middle. It's out of this selection. It's definitely more towards the back. So we have to see what we can do with this car moving forward. And any other videos I do with this specific car, if I use like the faster car, it'll probably be a little bit easier to make our way through the grid on a 5-lap race. Monza will probably be a little bit easier. I'm kind of glad it's not dry conditions, because that's when your F2004s and O2s would just absolutely shoot off. Same with the Williams, they would just absolutely take off, and we'd be absolutely nowhere. Again, coming into our favourite part of the circuit, we hook up that curb on the right, and we just get such a good run coming in through the back straight. It's so good. You can't see anything because of the weather, but when you hook it up, it obviously feels really good. But we're in the slipstream of the Williams, and this is another part of the track. We can ride this curb pretty well in this car, and the older gen cars, at least, they can't do that very well because with a lack of downforce, which obviously gives us a good run coming into Parabolica, where we passed Murray last lap. So we're going to maybe have a look at the Williams here coming into Parabolica. A very similar move. We get it done a lot easier than the last one, I think, because the brakes on that Williams isn't exactly great. I was obviously a little bit newer, probably by about 5 years, give or take, quick maths. But anyway, coming on to the start of lap 4, this is what I mean about I'm glad it's not on the dry, because he's just absolutely flown past us in the straight. We've got no answer to that, unfortunately. We're going to maybe have a little look down into turn 1. We know we've got the measure of him on the brakes, and we've got a Ferrari and McLaren just ahead of us. Those will kind of be maybe the last few cars we could overtake. I don't think we're going to get in the top 8, at least, which would have been points back in the day, let alone the top 10 for the current points structure. But it's fun. Like it's just nice to look at this car. It's just insane. The link to this car will be in the description, of course. Please feel free to download that. It's good fun, especially like the engine cover and the side pods. When it came out back in the day, I wasn't able to appreciate it because obviously I was quite a bit younger. But if this kind of livery came out now, oh mate, it'd be insane. Like, it's such a nice livery. It's probably one of my favourite liveries on an F1 car, period. Just because of the detail of the ball, and it just looks insane. Obviously they kept the ball up until I think 2017. I think was the last year they used it. It might have been 16. Pretty sure it was 16. We take advantage of track limits there, and we make full use to try and catch up to the Russian Ferrari driver, I'm assuming. But yeah, like they kept it on the engine cover, but it was never on the side pods on the engine cover. I think they got rid of that in about 2009, I want to say. So from 6, 7 and 8 they had it. I want to say 9 they changed it. I could be wrong. Definitely in 2010 they didn't have it then. So, but it's such a good livery. Like it can't be matched. It really can't. But on the final lap, in the slipstream of the Russian Ferrari driver, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that, and he just absolutely stretched away from us. We thought about having a go into turn 1, but we agree it's not really worth it. We know this car ahead of us has not got great aerodynamics, to say the least. Power side, it's a ton better than we are, but coming up to our favourite section in a little bit, you know, we should have a great opportunity to maybe pass him there, and if we can pass him there, happy days. We can't really complain. End of sector 1, we're green. And again, we close up to the back of him through this section of track, because this car just works. Like, obviously this was the last season before they made you take all the winglets off the car. They shortened the rear wing, made the front wing even longer. This car was good. Obviously, for those who don't know, and if you haven't cottoned on by now by what's ahead of you, it's the McLaren MP425, so the 2008 championship winning car, driven by someone called Lewis Hamilton. I don't know who that is, but it's it's a fast car. It's got a lot of aero bits on it, and it is quite nice. The only good thing about this car is you look at it, you don't know. It's not one of those cars that you look at and like, oh, that's so and so's car. That's that car. It could be any car, because that year was so crazy with all the aero bits they had on. It could pass for pretty much anything, which is obviously amazing. But he won the Grand Prix in a brawn. We close up to the driver. We touched tyres a little bit. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. And, yeah, we're not going to catch him up on the down to the start finish rate. But we managed to finish P13. It was okay. It wasn't great. Could have been better. But I think, given the fact it's the first time driving this car on this game, I haven't touched these cars at all prior to recording this video. Felt good. Felt really good. I'm looking forward to the next few ones, especially the next one's going to be tricky, especially around Monaco, so do check that out. Person's car I'm going to be driving is German, so you guys can figure that out, and by all means type in the comments which car you think I'll be driving in the next race. But that's been it for me, guys. If you've enjoyed, please do slap a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care. Bye bye.